Hash the gift of life. The morning light filtered through the hospital windows in soft, golden streams. Emma Carter stood at the nurse's station on the 7th floor, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of coffee. She had been working at St. Mary's Hospital for 3 years now, and she loved every moment of it. Even the difficult days felt meaningful to her. Emma was 27 years old, with kind eyes and a gentle smile that put patients at ease. She had become a nurse for one simple reason: she wanted to help people. Her mother had always told her that the greatest gift in life was caring for others, and Emma had taken those words to heart. That particular Tuesday morning started like any other. Emma checked her patient charts, organized medications, and made her rounds. But everything changed when she walked into room 714. Inside, a man lay in the hospital bed, his face pale and drawn. He looked to be in his early 30s, with dark hair and tired eyes that held a depth of sadness Emma had rarely seen. His name, according to the chart, was Michael Harrison. He had been admitted 2 weeks ago with kidney failure, and his condition was deteriorating rapidly. "Good morning, Mr. Harrison," Emma said softly, stepping into the room. "How are you feeling today?" Michael turned his head slowly toward her. "About the same," he replied, his voice barely above a whisper. "Maybe a little worse." Emma checked his vitals and made notes in his chart. As she worked, she noticed something unusual. Unlike most patients, Michael had no visitors. No flowers sat on his windowsill. No get-well cards lined his table. He was completely alone. Over the next few days, Emma found herself spending extra time in Michael's room. She would sit with him during her breaks, talking about simple things: the weather, books they had read, dreams they had once held. Michael never spoke about his life outside the hospital, and Emma never pushed him to share. What she did learn was that Michael was on the transplant list, waiting for a kidney donor. But the waiting list was long, and his time was running short. The doctors had made it clear: without a transplant soon, Michael would not survive. One evening, as Emma sat beside his bed, Michael looked at her with those sad, tired eyes. "You don't have to keep coming in here, you know," he said. "I'm sure you have better things to do." Emma shook her head. "There's nowhere else I'd rather be," she said honestly. "Everyone needs someone." That night, Emma lay awake in her small apartment, thinking about Michael. She thought about his loneliness, his failing health, and his quiet acceptance of what seemed like inevitable fate. And then, a thought entered her mind, one that would change everything. The next morning, Emma made an appointment with Dr. Patterson, the hospital's transplant coordinator. She had made a decision that some might call impulsive, but to her, it felt absolutely right. "I want to donate my kidney to Michael Harrison," she told Drive. Patterson. The doctor's eyes widened. "Emma, do you understand what you're saying? This is major surgery. There are risks, and you barely know this patient." "I know enough," Emma replied calmly. "I know that he needs help, and I can give it." "Isn't that what matters?" The testing process took several weeks. Emma underwent physical examinations, psychological evaluations, and countless blood tests. To her relief and Michael's amazement, she was a perfect match. Michael was stunned when he learned what Emma had done. "Why?" he asked her, tears streaming down his face. "Why would you do this for a stranger?" Emma sat down beside his bed and took his hand. "Because you're not a stranger anymore," she said simply. "You're someone who needs help, and I have the power to give it. That's reason enough." The surgery was scheduled for a Thursday morning in late autumn. Emma's colleagues tried to talk her out of it, worried about her health and her future. But Emma's mind was made up. She had never been more certain of anything in her life. The operation lasted 6 hours. When Emma woke up in recovery, the first thing she asked about was Michael. The nurses assured her that the transplant had been successful, and that Michael was doing well. It took Emma 2 weeks to recover enough to return to work. When she finally did, she went straight to Michael's room. But something was different. The room was filled with flowers now, and Michael was sitting up in bed, color returned to his face. He looked like a different person. "Emma," he said when he saw her, his voice stronger than she had ever heard it. "I need to tell you something. I need to tell you the truth about who I am." Emma sat down, confused. "What do you mean?" Michael took a deep breath. "My full name is Michael Harrison. I'm the CEO of Harrison Industries. I'm a millionaire, Emma. I have been for years." Emma's mouth fell open in shock. Harrison Industries was one of the largest technology companies in the country. Everyone knew the name. "But why didn't you tell me?" she asked. Why were you here alone? Michael's eyes filled with sadness again. Because when you have money, you never know why people are around you. Are they there because they care, or because of what you can give them? I've been burned so many times, Emma. I stopped letting people in. I pushed everyone away until I was completely alone. He reached out and took her hand. But you, he continued, you gave me your kidney without knowing who I was or what I had. You gave me the most precious gift anyone has ever given me, not just life, but proof that genuine kindness still exists in this world. Emma felt tears rolling down her cheeks. I would have done it anyway, she whispered. Even if I had known. I believe you, Michael said. And that's why you're the most remarkable person I've ever met. Over the following months, as they both healed, Michael and Emma's friendship deepened into something more. Michael showed Emma that wealth meant nothing without people to share it with. Emma showed Michael that the simplest acts of kindness were worth more than any fortune. 1 year after the transplant, they stood together on the hospital rooftop at sunset. Michael had made a full recovery, and Emma had returned to her work with renewed purpose. I was dying in more ways than one, Michael said, looking out over the city. You didn't just save my life, Emma. You reminded me how to live it. Emma smiled, leaning her head against his shoulder. We saved each other, she said softly. And in that moment, as the sun painted the sky in shades of gold and pink, they both knew it was true. Sometimes the greatest gifts we give are the ones that cost us something. And sometimes, those gifts return to us in ways we never could have imagined. The lonely millionaire had found love. The compassionate nurse had found her purpose. And together, they had discovered that the greatest wealth in life isn't measured in money, it's measured in moments like these, where two hearts beat as one, both of them grateful simply to be alive.